everybody, this is Rideshare Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. I did experiment this weekend and I checked out another market. So I've had my own market in Syracuse. I have been out working in Buffalo, and I decided to try New York City. Great. I was nervous at first. I did some research, checked to see if what the best spots are, where to go, things like that. On YouTube, the only thing I could find is the bicycle ones. And that wouldn't really help me out, but it didn't really help me out because I drive a car. I needed to know where I could park my car and, how long I could be there and where you can't park and things like that. Because in New York, they don't have a lot of lots and places where you can park your car. So it's just, park it, run, and come back. So I tried to see what I could do about it, but I really couldn't. I found that if you parked your car in an area, then just grab your thermal bags, run to the restaurants, and then run back. Same thing when it comes to giving the customer. Is if you find a parking spot on their street, park, and then run up to the customer's house. And I found that to be my most effective way. I mean, I did have a little bit of help. The time I did have a little bit of help, they kind of sat in the car while I ran into the restaurant or ran to the customer's house. So if you're going to do it by yourself, the best thing to do is immediately when you find a parking spot, pull into it, run to the restaurant, run to the customer's house. And if you're going to be with somebody else, then you could double park in some areas, or you could just kind of park a little bit off to the side. And that way, if the police come by, you have somebody in your car that can actually move the car, so that way you won't get in trouble. So I did my experiment and I had a great time. I loved it. It was so much fun. I mean, when I grabbed a hotel room for 3 days because I needed to try it out. When I was there, when I went to go out on Friday morning, Friday morning, I was a little on the nervous side, so I really kind of stayed in my hotel room and puttered around for a while because I was literally afraid to go out there and try it on my own. So I did, and everything worked out. Like I said, I figured it out that this is what I had to do in order to get my deliveries done. So I had my earnings, and I decided that I wanted to let everybody know what you can do with other markets. Now, with other markets, everybody's hoping to make a lot of money. It's exactly why I went down there, besides the experiment. When you go to other markets, you are learning a market. I mean, you want to be making money, obviously, but you need to see what works well down there or in your area or in this market, what works and doesn't work, because you don't want to do one and not the other. I found in Buffalo, Doordash works well. Also, Uber Eats, in my market in Syracuse, it's Doordash. So when I went down to New York City, I decided to just do Doordash. Nothing else. I didn't do no Instacart. I didn't do no Postmates. I didn't do no Uber Eats. Mind you, I couldn't do no rideshare because in New York City, they are regulated by the TLC in New York City, and Uber and Lyft will not allow anybody who is not in the TLC with the correct tags and the license to operate their vehicles in rideshare in New York City only, in the 5 boroughs. But anywhere else you can. So, I mean, I knew I was only going down there for deliveries and not rideshare anyway. So what I did is I compiled the list of my expenses, right? And then what I did was whatever I spent, hotel, food, things like that, and then I wrote it all down. And then whatever money I made, I checked it out, whatever my active time was or my online time was, and got the difference between whether or not I, made money or how much money I made per hour. Because in this business, it's always how much money you make per hour. So now, with the money that I had made, I had realized that I was on the app for 23 hours. 24 because it was 23 and like 57 minutes. So I just rounded it right up to 24. So what I did was, it was 27, I'm sorry. So what I did was I took that number, divided it by my online time to get my my earnings per hour, right? $17.50. So yeah, that's not really a great, hourly rate, especially when you're going into another market trying to figure it out. But my active time, when I was actually getting orders for customers, my active time was $24.70. That's because I was being picky on the orders I was taking. I wanted to make sure that the mileage was right. I wanted to make sure that the time was right. The batch was actually going to pay me when I was done with the order. So you want to go by definitely the batch amount. Okay, now with DoorDash gives you the pay, what the delivery pay is. Sometimes there will be a peak boost, and if there's not, then obviously you're just gonna go by peak. You're gonna go by DoorDash pay, and you're gonna go by tips. So you can kind of figure out whether or not you got a tip from the customer by your peak pay and the DoorDash $3 pay. Add those together, minus out what the batch payment is. Obviously, you're going to know how much of a tip they're going to give, and you're going to know the miles that you want to go. Now, when I was down in New York City, I did not take miles that were over $5. I didn't go anywhere that was over 5 miles because I didn't want to get stuck in traffic, because it tends to be busy. The highways are busy. Cars are all over the place. I wanted to be in an area where I could just run in and run out. 5 miles. So that's what you want to do, is you just want to figure out what you're comfortable with. Certain areas, like if you were in a different neighborhood type place, like where I live, my neighborhood's full of houses and apartments, things like that. There's plenty of on-street parking. All our restaurants all have driveways. You can mess around with the miles from there. Otherwise, you want to make sure that the miles match what you're going to make. You do not want to get yourself stuck going 12, 13 miles and only making like $8, $9. Because you got to remember of that tip. Most of us, if not all of us, are living off the tips from the customers. And that is what we have to focus on. If you're getting a batch and it's a no-tip customer, it's up to you. If you want to take it, you're more than welcome to take it and hope that they, give a tip to you on the back end. So you don't want to take an order from a customer that did not leave a tip, because that, for one, shows no appreciation for what you do. 2, they didn't want to leave you a tip. 3, it's gonna be a $3 payout unless you have a $1, $2, $3 peak boost. So it's gonna be $4 or $5, and you're gonna have to travel 12, 13 miles. Why would you do that? The government already gives us 58 cents a mile. So you want to make more than what the government is making. Most people, if you ask them and you say, how far do I want to go, per mile, how much do I want my pay per mile? Most of everybody will say at least $1. Okay? Sometimes people will say $1.25, $1.50. It all depends on geography and where they're located and the type of restaurants they're actually serving. During lunch, it's kind of give or take, because it's all lunch food. It's fast foods, it's delis and things like that. So the amount of what people are spending is not as great as it is when it comes to dinner time, and then they're getting things from P.F. Chang's, and they're getting things from the Cheesecake Factory and things like that. So you also want to pay attention to what time of day it is. Okay, so when I went down to New York City, like I said, I had all my expenses, everything that I spent, everything that I had made, okay, and then I figured out what I was making per hour, and that was the big thing. Mind you, I only did DoorDash. This is only DoorDash. So when I go back to New York City, I am going to do Instacart, I'll do DoorDash, I'll do Uber Eats, I'll do Postmates. I'm going to start multi-apping when I go down there, because I got the feel of the area. I talk to people who live down there, who kind of help me with, well, this is what you have to do in order to be successful. You want to talk to people in that area if you're in a different market. But right now in our markets, it's tough because the fact that we have the pandemic going on, and it's already slow time anyway because of the fact that it's after the holidays. Everybody's paying off their credit card bills. Try other markets and just do it. I was so uncomfortable when I was down in New York City. When I went there, I met up with somebody, and it was fine because I was with a native New Yorker. I was with somebody who was from New York City, which helped me out, which made me feel a little bit more comfortable. He showed me the areas that would be best, which had driveways and which ones had street parking, where you can and can't double park and things like that. So you kind of want to get all that information. Do your own research. Go onto YouTube, and see what other videos are out about that particular market, and see how other people are handling that market, whether or not it's profitable. If you get people over and over again saying, this market is terrible, oh my gosh, week after week, my earnings just keep going down, and my earnings this, my earnings that, that's not a market you're going to want to try out. Try out a different market. So now I went down to New York City for this. I have been to Buffalo. I'm going to do an earnings, not an earnings video, but I'm going to also check my earnings on my per hour in Buffalo, because I really don't do that because I love Buffalo. I just love working out there, mind you. And I'm also going to check out a couple other cities. I'm having a great time doing this. If you can devote yourself to an afternoon, a weekend, a couple of days, go check out other markets. See how things are. Check out YouTube channels for that particular market and see what other content creators are saying about that particular market. Now, I got some comments on when I did go to New York, because I did a couple live streams and things like that. So I had some people saying, the market's really great for this, great for that, I should do this, I should do that. So when I go back, obviously I'm going to multi-app and things like that to make sure that I am earning what I should earn. Okay, mind you, this was just Doordash. Okay, and I literally only made $8.45 because from my expenses to what I made, that was the difference. But if I had multi-app, mind you, I was ahead by $8. If I were to multi-app, can you imagine how much more I would have made? How much greater my income would have been? Because I was already on the positive side with just one app. And that was with getting a late start. I had to cut it short one day because it was raining out really bad and I didn't want to get sick. You just, when all these things occur, you got to take into, effect that weather and things like that. Time of the year it is. Check out different markets. See what works for you, because you might want to go back there. This might be a profitable market, and you don't know that. You don't know it until you try it. But definitely go on YouTube and check and see what other content creators are saying about that particular market. See how much money or how much money they're not making. You want to maximize your earnings. We all do. We're all in this together. So that's one thing that you should learn from my video and the other videos, is that you want to earn more money, and how can I do it? So I tell everybody, check out other markets in your area. You don't have to go to a different state if you don't want to. I will eventually, but you don't have to. Check out the next city from you. Check out another city, 2 cities away. Experiment. Okay, it's the only way you're gonna know if you can have a chance to make any more money. All right, Well, this is Rideshare Lisa. Everybody, you have a great day. I hope that you learned a lot from my video. If anybody has any questions, put your questions in the comments section. I'll be happy to tell you what I spent, what I earned, things like that. I just wanted you to get an idea of how profitable it can be going to another market. And, you know, only doing one app. I only did one app. So if I were to multi-app, how much more is that going to be? So I will definitely be able to give you a video on that. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, definitely put them in the comments below. And if you check out my description, I have links to all my deliveries that I do. Check them out, sign up for them. Make sure you're signed up for everything, because if you don't do one thing, you might need it again someday. You know, like the pandemic, you know, everybody did rideshare, and then all of a sudden everybody has to do food delivery. Now they have to sign up for all these different apps, but yet they're on waiting lists. Why? Because they didn't sign up for Doordash, Postmates, Uber Eats. They didn't sign up for any of these Instacarts, you know, point pickup. They didn't sign up for it when they could and had it in their back pocket. They waited until the last minute. So don't do that. Sign up for these apps. Try them out. See if you like them. You know, even if you just do rideshare, you know, try out delivery for a couple hours. See if you like it. You know, if you do delivery, try rideshare. See if you like it. I mean, you're not going to know until you try it. I mean, yeah, you're going to say, oh gosh, people don't like it. It's not for me. Well, how do you know? Did you try it? I mean, you know, that sandwich looks really good, but, you know, just because it looks good, did you try it? Did you taste it? You know, how do you know you are going to like it or you're not going to like it if you don't try it yourself? So, all right, everybody, this is Rideshare Lisa. You just have a great rest of the day, rest of the night, and I will catch you in the next video or live stream. Bye-bye.